All right, we are live, Dale.
Hey, everybody, it's Dale Jr. live here on Dirty Mo Media YouTube channel for Ask Junior, presented by Xfinity on the Dale Jr. download. You guys have sent in a bunch of questions to the handle at Xfinity Racing on Twitter, and we're going to answer those questions like we do every week, and it's probably my favorite part of the show. I know I say that every time, but I just want you guys to know how much I appreciate this opportunity to interact. And in real time is always a great part of this show because we do a lot of interviews and we do a lot of ad reads and all these other things. That's more of a production. It's going to get edited and put out later, but this is a real one-on-one live sort of stuff that I like to do as well. So let's get started, Leah.
First question coming from Joe Cunningham. Who yelled the most during the I Am Athlete ride-alongs?
That's a good question. Mike Davis is with me and my co-host as usual, and I'm trying to, everybody had a bit different reaction. Brandon was really genuinely not claustrophobic and didn't like the interior of the car that much, and it took a while to get him in there and get him comfortable. And but he was fine. I think once he got going, he was like, "Wow, this is wild. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm experiencing this." Fred and I think Ojo Cinco, Chad, he was probably the more nervous out of all of them, and I might be wrong. I haven't spent a ton of time around him, so I don't really truly know his personality. But his when he gets nervous, he starts to try to be funny, right? And he's like, "I'm gonna do this without a helmet," and knowing we're not gonna go do it without a helmet. And he's like, "I can do it without a helmet, y'all." And he literally was sitting there getting in the car going, "I ain't wearing a helmet. Y'all don't worry about it. I got it. I'm okay. I'm not going to wear a helmet." And just sort of like dragging this out. And then he's like, "I don't want the window net up. Don't put the window net up. You can leave that down, right? You don't have to put that up. It's not necessary." And so he's kind of like dragging it out and prolonging us leaving pit road. And the funny thing about him, and I don't know if he did this on purpose or not, but he kicked his shoes off. He got in the car and he kicked his shoes off. And then when we're going around the track, he starts waving for me to stop. And at least I thought that's what he was doing. And we slow down and he's like, "My foot got burnt." And we went like 3 laps, but this was the third or fourth run. So yes, the floorboard of the car had heat in it and all that. And so I think it could have burn his foot if he'd set it on there for long, for the whole time we were in the car. But he was like, "I got to get out. It hurts. It burnt." And so it was just, his ride was a little quirky, kind of weird, but I couldn't tell whether he really burned his foot or he just wanted to stop and didn't know how, didn't want to say, "I don't like this. I want out." I couldn't tell. So it was kind of, but we did all that right before we had to sit down, and what a great place to do it. It was a great experience. Me and my wife watched it again last night, and just really, I liked Fred a lot. Talking to him, for some reason, I felt like a connection to Fred. All of them are great though, but yeah, I'd love to spend more time with them. I wished we would have. I couldn't tell what they wanted me to do when they're like, "We're going partying tonight." I'm like, "Are they serious? They really want to party?" Have you watched it, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you remember that part?
I do remember that part.
So I was wondering if they really wanted to go party or if that was just part of the show.
I think they wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I totally missed out on an opportunity to party with those guys. And we should have. I was like, man, do they want to go saloon? Where do they
Are they trying to plant a seed with me
Right.
that I'm supposed to hook this up or whatever they're doing? Yeah.
We missed an opportunity for sure because I think they did end up going out. Hanging out in Charlotte. So
once everybody's done watching this, they can go to the I Am Athlete YouTube page and watch this. It's a great interview.
Fantastic. Next question coming from Robert. How is the next gen car going to affect teams as far as jobs?
Gosh, what a question.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Anybody else want to take a stab at this?
Well, yeah, we could take a stab at this one. I mean, listen, NASCAR put out a whole list of vendors that they're going to be using that feels like that a lot of the fabricators that are in shops, and I know that Brett Griffin had a big take on this on Door Bumper Clear, but yeah, that there is some concern that a lot of the fabricating jobs and the stuff is now being kind of shopped out to vendors. And yeah, I think teams are going to start making reductions. I think that's a valid concern, frankly.
Yeah, maybe the Cup teams are trying to find ways to do things cheaper, and that's definitely going to affect some jobs in the shops. Some teams will do as much as they can to not lose people or not cut people. I know in the past, working with Rick, he's always been against downsizing and cutting staff. But some teams will look at that opportunity to try to cut staff and cut down on how many employees they have. But there will be opportunities, I think, outside of the teams to go to those vendors to be able to manufacture those parts.
Look at that big list.
Yeah, it's
all
a long
those
list. And that's just that's just the initial list. There's probably going to be more people added to that, and those companies there are going to be building all those parts. So there's jobs there, there's opportunities there, I suppose.
Next question coming from Mike Simpson. Thoughts on NASCAR tossing around the idea of street course races in Chicago, Denver, and Mexico City?
Pick one. Yeah, pick one, and then, I mean, Chicago's probably the one that is moving forward. Has the most momentum. iRacing is going to run a version of this track that they scanned. So iRacing and NASCAR together got with Chicago and said, we're going to scan this and make a virtual track and see how this looks on iRacing software. And NASCAR is doing this with other tracks. NASCAR is using iRacing and their ability to build a track or a different version of a track and see how it looks and works and see how it feels and drives. Letting drivers use it and comment on it, whether they like it, how it might race. They're doing that they've done that as well with the development of the Gen 6 car. And so I think it's a great relationship that NASCAR now has with iRacing, where they're using iRacing as an asset. And I say all that because if you were NASCAR and you're like, man, I want to do a street course, and this company could build you a virtual course by scanning the real thing, right? You'd do that. You'd take that you'd try to use that software to get a good look at what this might look like before you went and put millions and millions and millions of dollars in developing and building this course. So that's what they've done with Chicago. I think they're trying to move forward with the hope that they can run a street race there. And I think that they should just do that at Chicago and see how it works, man. Let's not go ahead and book all these other locations and shoehorn them into the schedule without knowing whether street courses is really where we need to be. I don't really know the history of street courses in open wheel. Are they viewed in open wheel as successful? Are they viewed in open wheel as fun to watch? Are they, I know that there's some legendary tracks out there that are street courses that people are very fond of, but we don't know whether they're going to be successful in our sport, in our series. So let's just do one at Chicago for probably the next 4 years, and let it run and see how it works. And if it's successful, then maybe go do somewhere else, add to it, but not right out of the gate.
Next question coming from Jake Wilson. How was it getting to meet Stephen Nasse finally?
I've met him before.
Oh.
Yeah, I've met Stephen Nasse before. I went to IRP a couple years ago and walked around in the infield and got to meet Bubba Pollard and Stephen. And I've always liked Stephen and his style. He's wild in the car. He's a little wild outside of the car. Ain't afraid to stand up for himself. Ain't afraid to he ain't gonna back down from anybody outside of the car. He'll go after them. But he also appreciates a good hard race, a good hard clean race. He's not just dirty all the time. He's not just nasty all the time. He's kind of rough and hard when he needs to be, but he can also race you door to door and lean on you a little bit and have a good clean race and take care of the guys around him. So from what I've seen, I've liked his style. And our sport needs more personality in the Cup level. We're always wanting more, right? That's not a dig at the Cup level. I'm just saying we want to funnel that awesome personality and talent all the way to the top. And he's one of the guys that I'm hoping eventually might get that opportunity to get into the Truck Series, get into the Xfinity Series, and maybe the Cup Series at some point, because he is fun in and out of the car as a fan.
All right, guys, that's it for today.
Wow, that's
yeah,
short.
Quick.
Well, darn. It was faster than normal. Unacceptable. Next week, we're going to have to take a couple extra questions to make up for this. I hope you guys enjoy the show. We got our guest
Petrie.
is Petrie, and we split it into two parts. We talked to him for quite a while, and it is amazing. And we love talking about cheating and innovation and what people have done to try to circumvent the rules of NASCAR, and he goes into that. He does it really well. Talks about all the things that they did to try to trick their cars out, and he has a lot of the parts and pieces still today that he's very proud of. So, fun conversation with Andy. You're not going to want to miss it. We got a bunch of great guests coming down the pipe. The show's got a ton of momentum, and you guys are just going to love the summer as we crank these out. So thanks for supporting us and tuning in, and we'll see you next week.